Hi there, this is Penelope. This is FS3128, Topic 8, Class 3. So this is the last video in the class video series. Okay, we're looking at statistics and let's get straight into it. We've got a data set here of marks obtained by students in a particular class. And a question that you might ask about this data is, what's a typical mark for a student in this class? Or in other words, what mark represents in some way the complete set of marks? So often we'd loosely say, what is the average mark of the class? We use this word average to talk about typical value. It's not necessarily the old add up all the values and divide by the number of students. That's one way, but we can also look at finding the mean, the median, and the mode. Now, for these ones, we could add them all up, divide by the number of them, and get the mean. So we could find that the mean, if we add them all up, there's 1084 of them, there are 20, and we could then find that the mean mark was 54.2%. But that's only one way of demonstrating or talking about the average sort of person in that class. These are the formulas. We will be using our calculators to do them, but these are the formulas that you're going to use. This one, even this one, where we've got a frequency table from the previous video, we will use those on our calculator. But these are the formulas that your calculator works on. So what it does is your calculator says, okay, here's my grouping. And if you look back to the golf scores, this is the example of the golf scores. You need to find the midpoint of that, which would be 67. And if you look at the table, there was one of them. So 67 times 1 is 67. For the next group, 70 to 74, the midpoint of that is 72. And there were 7 in that group. 7 times 72 gives you 504. You then add them up and you divide that by the number of them. We could do these, it's not in a frequency table, so for this one we would need to add them all up and divide by the number of them. Have a go at this, stop the video, have a go at this and find that the mean for player A is 63.2 runs and the mean for player B is 60.1 runs. For this one, what we'd need to do is we'd need to find the midpoint of each. So the midpoint of, say, 0 to 14 would be 7. The midpoint 15 to 24 would be 19.5, and so on. And then multiply the formulas out. Or we can use our calculator. Again, stop, check, do it, and find that the mean height is 63.5. Another type of average that we might look at is called the median. And sometimes it's better to use the median rather than the average. For this example, we would probably need to put them in order. That's 174. 175, and if we found the median, which is the middle value, we'd start counting in from that end. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 readings, so it would be the middle reading, which would be that one. So the median would be the middle reading, so it would be 174. But these are readings, these are judgments. So to some extent they are subjective, and that they're going to be dependent on the impression that the judges gain at the time. So perhaps adding them all up and finding the average is not really a sensible thing. The median might be a better guide to the middle or the typical value of these ones. This example we will do in class. And this example we will do in class. Straight out set of numbers here, find the mode of them. Now the mode is the most common. And in this case, the mode is the one that occurs most often. There's 1, 2, 2 3s, 3 4s, so it must be 4. Let's have a look at some data. Here we've got a sample of 16 bottles of soap, liquid soap, and they've taken a measure of the amount in each bottle, and that's the data there. And you're asked to find the mean, the median, and the mode of the sample. Okay, for the mean, we would use our calculators. Again, stop, check, and work it out. The mean is 306.0 mils. The median, to find the median, we're going to have to put them in order. And in this case, there are 16 bottles. So to find the median, we're going to have to take the average of the two middle ones. So we're going to have to find the average of 306 mils and 307 mils, which would be 306.5. Now the mode, if we put them in some sort of order so that we can see all the values at a glance, then we'd see that there was a mode at 300, there were two 300s, and there must be two 311s as well. And there are no more than two of any of them, so they're actually two modes each like that. Now, the standard deviation is something that measures how closely the data is scattered around the mean. So it's often useful so we know the mean, but that might not tell us a great deal about the data. It might be really spread out, or it might be well clustered about the mean. So we're going to use our calculator to find the standard deviation. I will demonstrate this in class. You can also look it up in the manual of your calculator to find the standard deviation. Now there are two sorts of standard deviations. There's one for a population where it's all the data, and there's another one for a sample where it's some of a population. If you look in any textbook, you'll see that the standard deviation is a really nasty formula. It's equal to the square root of the sum between n and I equals 1 of xi minus x bar, where x is the mean, x bar is the mean, divided by n. We're not going to do that. We're going to let the calculator do that. So don't be tempted to do that. We're going to use your calculator to do it. The textbook has all the formulas. Now the textbook does talk a lot about variance as being another measure of closeness to the mean. The variance is simply the standard deviation squared. So to find the variance, you would find the standard deviation, then you would square it. So we'll do the actual bits of this in class. This example here is actually about lead levels in the blood samples of 50 primary schools, and it's given in micrograms per litre. You're asked to find the median, the mean and the mode and calculate the standard deviation and then display the data. I've done it all here on Excel, and you can use Excel even to find things like the mean, the median and the mode, and all you have to do is put the data into Excel and then use Excel to do it. And I will show you in class how to use Excel to do, to find all this information as well. Those are the answers. This is what we will do in class. It's too tricky, or else I'm not technologically savvy to now go to Excel and show you here. Maybe I'll do another video